back to part 8 of the custom railing build that I am doing. I've had a few questions since the last time I posted a video. 1, why is it taking so long? 2, have I given up? 3, why do I keep making mistakes? All perfectly valid questions. So I want to address some of those real quick before we get started. Why has it been so long since I released a video? It's been almost 3 weeks. I ran out of material. So if you remember back in episode 1, or part 1, I was a little cocky. I was like, yeah, I've got this, no problem. I make mistakes, all right? So that's part of learning. Making mistakes is how you learn. Improvement means that you get a little better every day, but you never stop learning. And determination is how I'm gonna get through this project. So success doesn't happen by accident. I've got to keep trying. Effort is how I overcome this challenge, and honestly, things are going to be difficult before they're easy. So, with that out of the way, I do have more material because I made mistakes. Yes, so what happened, if you watched my last video, is for whatever reason, whenever I did the math, I did it wrong. I know you would think that adding and subtracting should be fairly easy. Well, for whatever reason, I did it in my head, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's not a big deal. So, I came up with 30 degrees for the cuts. They're supposed to be 15. So on the blueprint that I drew, and yes, I did draw the blueprints, and that's one of the reasons why people are like, why are you making mistakes? You drew the blueprints. Just because I drew the blueprints doesn't mean that I'm not going to rush and think, oh, I know what I'm doing. That's a very common mistake that my students make all the time, I make, and I need to be better. But anyways, so if you take 90 degrees and you subtract 75, which is what I wrote on the blueprint, a 75 degree cut, it would give you 15. There is no 75 degree mark on the saw, but there is a 15 degree mark on the saw, and there is a 30. So for whatever reason, I was like, oh, it's 30, that's easy. I'm not even gonna make sure that that math is right. And look where I'm at, having to restart a few things. But anyways, on last video, you kind of saw that I had everything welded together and tacked together, and then I was like, well, this doesn't seem right. How come this leg is almost a foot short? So in my head at the time, I was thinking, maybe I just mismeasured on this piece and cut off a foot less than whatever I needed. I'll extend it, and I did that in the video. And then whenever I got home and I was editing the video, I was going, you know, I'm pretty sure that measurement was right. So I went back, I looked at my blueprint, I looked at what I know that I cut material at, and then I found my mistake. Again, I should have been 15 degrees, I cut it at 30. That's why that was. So I had to go back, order some new material. Thank you, Paige Steele, for delivering it. You guys have been awesome for helping me out because I can't get the material from the yard to the shop. So you guys truly are very supportive of myself and the high school welding program. But also Airgas, thank you. I've got more consumables on the way. I want to remind everyone, there's another question that I've been asked, is that all of the steel that is for this project has been purchased by my mother-in-law, along with most of the consumables. Okay, there are some things that I'm contributing. There's stuff that I've already had, so I didn't really feel like it was necessary to buy more because I've had it and I need to use it. So I'm not trying to take anything from the school. I'm using my own, own steel and own consumables, things like that. What I am using from the school is the space and the machine. Okay. Here's another question that people have asked me. Are you making any money off of these videos? No. My intention is not to make any money off of these videos. I don't even have like 25 subscribers. I don't remember how many I have at the top of my head. I don't have enough traffic on this channel to get any money, but I will promise you this, that if for any reason YouTube sends me a check saying, hey, you made, even if it's 25 cents off of these videos, I promise you, the viewer, anyone who asks, that I will give 100% of any money that is made off of these YouTube videos of me just tooling around in the shop. I will give it all to the welding program at Page High School. So, You know, I guess in that sense, it would be nice if there was some money coming in, but I promise you, it would go to the welding program, and it would only help benefit the students. I do not have any intention of making any profit off of the videos that I am making, okay? Again, the steel and most of the consumables were purchased by my mother-in-law. Some of the consumables were purchased by me. It's just purely for me to keep my skills up, keep gaining experience, have fun too. I love doing this stuff. But yeah, that's what's going on. But before I ramble on too much, I want to talk about what's going on today. Today I've got 2 new pieces of square tube. They are covered in oil. I need to clean them. I'm hoping to draw out my appropriate measurements this time. Cut it out. We're gonna see how far we get. I'm probably gonna end up stopping the video about 11. I've got to make sure that I clean up everything really good here because the school year has started again and my students are out in the shop during the weekday. So I need to make sure that my stuff is not interfering with classwork. So I'm going to take the time after 11 to kind of get that all situated. The machine that I like to use over there, my students right now are doing FCAWS, and if you know anything about welding, that is a different electrode, different polarity, things like that, different drive rollers. So if I'm going to use that machine, I have to switch it to what I need to use for GMAW, hook up my gas, and then at the end of the day, change it all back to what my students are using and what the school has provided for my students. So that's going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to see where I'm at the end of the cleaning and cutting, and see what time it is, and determine whether or not it's going to be worthwhile for that amount of time to completely switch the machine, contact tips, all of that, and then do some welding, and then switch it all back. We'll see. My guess is that next video I will do all of the tacking and welding and cleaning and all that stuff. Anyways, before I ramble on too far, thank you so much for sticking with me. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like button. Again, I'm not trying to get any money off of it. It just makes me feel good, and I like feeling good, get the little endorphins going. Let me know if you have any questions. Please, if you have any suggestions, constructive criticism is always welcome. If you have any suggestions on how I can make these videos better, how I can do better on these projects, anything like that, I welcome it, and I'm open to it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to work. All right, everyone, so now that I've finished cutting everything for the railing system to go down the steps, I believe I have everything cut correctly. I don't know how well you can see it in the time lapse, but I measured. So I wanted to make sure that I was absolutely spot on. Now, there's a couple of pieces that I'm going to reuse from my previous railing. And so that way I don't have to keep cutting up material. I do have some. You might be able to see a little bit of rust on that. So I'm going to need to hit that with a wire wheel, take care of that. Wire cup actually, but anyways, not a big deal. It should be fairly quick and easy. I'm not going to film that, but before I go, I'm going to just hit it with a wire cup. That and one other part, clean it up. It kind of rusted because we've got evap coolers in the shop. If you remember my beginning videos, I was wearing shorts because of how hot it was in here. Well, now the school's back in, yay, evap coolers are out. Anyways, one of the things that you might have saw was that I was taking notes and using my phone as a calculator. Well, just to kind of show you, here is my original, or here's my prints that I drew. So I am trying to teach the metric system to my students. And so I have metric measuring tapes in my shop, and I didn't bring my standard measuring tape. So I had to convert everything into metric, which actually I prefer to use anyways. The metric system, I feel like I'm able to get a lot more accurate compared to the American Standard Imperial system that most of you guys are familiar with. But converted everything to metric. Everything is really, really close. So everything that I cut is within less than a millimeter within my drawings. So it's pretty accurate. Like I said, I like the metric system a little better. I'm able to get a lot more accurate with it than I am with the standard tape measure. So I don't even know why I didn't just do this all on metric in the first place, because that's, like I said, it's a superior measuring system. Anyways, won't get into that too much, but I went ahead and decided I'm going to call it a day for today. As far as recording goes, I need to change the blade on the cutting saw back to the school's blade because I had to switch it for my blade, so I didn't use the school's blade. And then I got to do a quick clean, and then I'm going to go into take a wire cup. In the grinding room, we have a separate room just for grinding at the school. It really helps with the noise pollution. But I'm going to take it in there. I've got bench vices in there, so that way it can clamp and I don't have to try to hold it down or anything like that. I'm just going to go ahead and take care of it in there. And then I'm going to call it a day. But as far as recording goes, I think that's going to be it for today. I know it was probably a fairly quick video, or not as much working as what I normally do. Next time, my goal is to get both handrails tacked together and welded up, and I really, really hope that this time I got everything right. Like I said, you saw that I was checking. So I don't really know what else I can do unless my drawings are flawed, but I don't think they are because I used computer software to help me. So anyways, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for part 9. Hopefully I'll be able to film that next weekend. We'll see. I don't know. But anyways, have a good day. Don't forget, until next time, don't forget to tie in your welds and wrap your corners. I'll see you next time.